answer that question. Everybody accepted what I was giving them. The WBC think that you better than everybody. You want me to pay you more than the other sanctioned bodies because you feel like you better than them.
Bro, that again, to me, this is my opinion, ego. That is an ignorant statement. You want to charge more for the green belt because you think you're effing better than them. What are you talking about? We unpack. We unpack. We unpack. Coming to your live boxing ego unpack. Yeah. We unpack. We unpack. We unpack. Coming to your live. There's 1,000 words that I could say. Belts are gone. Baby, those belts are gone. The belts are gone. Terence Crawford, he's almost completely out of belts after beating Canelo to become undisputed. In this video, that's what we're going to talk about. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Now, I made this graphic for y'all. You gotta like it because you gotta feel me. Can you feel me? I said I'm doing what I gotta do, staying true with my crew. Can you feel? I want to see if y'all know that. Let's see who knows their hip hop. What song is that? I said I'm doing what I gotta do, staying true with my crew. Can you feel me? I know y'all don't know y'all hip hop. Anywho, back to it. Terence Bud Crawford. That boy Bud, he almost completely beltless at this point. I made this graphic. You see the X's, bro. WBC, WBO, IBF now. Take that, take that, take that. The belts is all but gone. Dan Raphael, he posted this, Boxing Reporter. News, the IBF has announced that Terence Crawford, who announced his retirement, has formally vacated its super middleweight title. He has also vacated the WBO. Boom. You never know, right? And I put this just to spell it out in case. This is why y'all watch me. For all the boxing news, the latest and greatest. Terence Crawford's undisputed belts are almost all gone after announcing his retirement last week, as the IBF is now the latest to announce that he has formally surrendered the belt. Previously, he relinquished the WBO belt. And as you guys know, which we're going to talk about in a second, as far as the WBC, there was this whole fracas and beef and like altercation with Terence Bud Crawford about the WBC. He was like, everybody else, they took what I offered them except for the WBC. Ha 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 ha. I busted. Ha ha ha. Like, yo, I'm calling the shots. I'm undisputed. They should have took what I gave them, but they didn't want to take what I gave them. So the WBC was like, okay, this how you want to play it? I got you. And they stripped him. Now, mind you, the WBC, they stripped Crawford before he announced his retirement. So some people, I'm not saying me, don't pew pew the messenger, but some people like Teofimo Lopez have went on record and stated that Bud is not really undisputed because he didn't follow through with collecting the belt by paying the associated fees, right? You guy, I don't really care because he's retired now, so it don't really make no never mind at all now. It don't really matter now, but that was a conversation. Tio's like, how could we call him undisputed when he didn't pay for it? Like, you know what I mean? Like if you had some kind of driver's test that you had to pay for to get your license and you didn't pay for it, and then you, I guess, passed the driving portion of it, but you have associated fees, they're probably not going to let you get your license. So I don't know. That's more or less semantics. Either way, we know that Crawford beat the snot out of Canelo. So he was, in fact, 3X undisputed. This is just kind of more or less a technicality. But I do want to talk about being the greatest to ever do this, the best in the business, and it's not even close, because I didn't know Crawford was going to announce his retirement, but he did the video, which I'm going to play, and he was like very negative towards the WBC, right? He was like, oh man, y'all, pretty much you're swindling fighters. I can't believe y'all. You know, you should have took what I offered you, all this type of stuff. And again, this was before Terence Crawford announced that he was even retiring, and myself included, and many others, Abel Sanchez, former trainer of Gennady Golovkin. Hey, no, guys. Hey, big drama show, guys. It's not in this punch, guys. Right? Abel, Eddie Hearn, and other people like kind of admonished Crawford like this is kind of bad business because you owe this fee. They kind of, in terms of the fee, they went down on their price, but because I guess the price still wasn't low enough for what you were trying to pay, then you're like, to heck with it. I don't even care. You know, y'all can have the belt. And to be honest, that's kind of, it was to me, I told you, it was more political than anything because Crawford and his team spent his whole career talking about accolades and belts and moving up. Like, how can Tank or whatever be better than Shakur when he moved up less weight classes? That's their whole baseline of their argument, right? So now when it's convenient, you did this deal with Turkey and TKO, and they're trying to monopolize the game. They're trying to get rid of all belts or not recognize them. Zuffa Boxing not trying to get recognition to the belts that have been here, the lineage, the green belt, the IBF, etc., because they are trying to create their own uniformity and have the ring belt and the turkey belt or whatever as the only belts that matter. Zuffa Boxing belt. Now all of a sudden Crawford switched up, which to me, I told you it was a bad look. Now you see it. Boom.
Mauricio, you know, got a lot to say.
Why you say it like that? Mauricio.
About me not paying him $300,000 plus another $100K something for sanction fee. They ain't gonna tell me. I ain't even apologize. Like, who the fuck you think I am? Boy, you better slap your fucking self. Ain't paying your ass shit. Fuck you talking about pay you $300,000. What makes you so motherfucking better than any other sanction bodies, huh?
So I'm not gonna play the whole clip because I already did a video about this. You need to check those videos. But again, for me, this is a terrible look for Crawford because why did you even like this? Okay, you just retired. Now, whether he stays retired, that's his business. You know, sometimes fighters come back, money lures them back, whatever. So some people believe this is like propaganda and he wasn't planning on staying at 68, but he wants to drive up the price and maybe come back next year against Canelo in September and maybe create a fondness by being away. I don't know. That's up to Crawford if he's really, really done, but he don't have no belts. And I told you that was coming. He has one belt that I don't think, so the WBC he didn't pay for. The IBF, which is what this video, they formally announced that that's gone, and the WBO. So yeah, the WBA, and I don't know, maybe the IBO. I don't know if he has that or whatever, but at least the WBA, as of me recording the video, I don't think they've confirmed it. But the point is, Crawford did all this like, yeah, who do you think you are? Slap yourself. I ain't paying. You can have the belt. Right? I'm letting you listen to it. This is what he was talking about. And then a week later, you post pictures of your trophy case and belts, and they're all laid out in your trophy case, and you retire. Weird move, bro. Crawford, I get it. He does what he wants, but these moves are weird because my thing is this. How do you play the game for your whole career, brag about the game, like, man, I got the most belts, I'm 3X undisputed, and then a week before you retire, because you know, if nobody knows, at least you know if you're on the verge of retirement. So you knew you were going to retire a week before. So why did you wait to the end of your career to take shots at the WBC? That even solidifies and shows that I'm the best in the business, and it's not even close even more, because clearly there was some kind of political agenda driven motive to do that. You played the game. That's why I told you I don't respect the move in terms of how some people were trying to fashion it. You have the Bud Buddies, and they were trying to make it sound like, oh man, Crawford's sticking it to the man. Oh, he pro-black. Oh, he's FBA and giving back to the brothers, and he's creating a new wave. He didn't create nothing, because Teofimo and Shakur's his little brother, they're fighting for a belt in January, or belts, you know what I mean? And in boxing, as of right now, is back on track to just, you know, if it's a title fight, it's a title fight, blah, blah, blah. So he didn't really create a wave, and he didn't really, you know, leave some kind of mark where everybody is suddenly gonna start following suit and be like, yeah, I'm a brand, I'm the brand, it don't matter, I don't care about the belt, they're using all our money for dinners. So again, why did you wait to the end of your career, a week, literally a week before you're about to retire, to announce that now you beefing with the WBC or don't care about any of these belts and sanctioning fees? But you told us something else throughout your whole career up until the last minute. So to me, very weird move. But for more on this initial video, you can check
answer that question. Everybody accepted what I was giving them. The WBC think that you better than everybody, and you got the fucking green belt, which don't mean fucking shit. You want me to pay you more than the other sanctioned bodies because you feel like you better than them.
Bro, that again, to me, this is my opinion, ego. That is an ignorant statement. You want to charge more for the green belt because you think you're effing better than them. What are you talking about? If I fly to New York right now and I go to restaurant A and I go to a high-end restaurant B, right? And they both serve steak. Let's say Applebee's versus restaurant B that Bradley Cooper owns, or whoever, a celebrity owns, or whatever, and it's the hot spot. Restaurant B has no obligation to restaurant A. They are, in fact, not connected in any form or fashion. So restaurant A, this is the great thing about being in America, right? In America, you can run your business as long as it falls within federal guidelines and the law in local ordinances or whatever. You can run your business and set price how you want. I've been to taco spots and the tacos are fire and they charging like $1 or $2 per taco. If that gets you by and you can charge only $1 or $2 for flames and delicious tacos, right? And people are willing to pay, and you got lines out the door, and your bottom line matches whatever, that's on you. So he's talking about, oh, the WBC thinks they're better. No, Costco prices don't have to match up to Sam's Club. They're their own businesses. They don't have nothing to do with it. So if the WBC says normally we take 3%, but we'll work with you and give you $300K. And the other thing is, I'm not in charge. I'm not a CPA in charge of Crawford's money. But literally, if you're retiring, this would literally be the last bill that you have to pay for sanctioning bodies. Then you're a free man. You can go and start a podcast or whatever else you want to do. You know what I mean? So kind of weird movement, because they're alleging you made $50 million and you couldn't pay this one final tab after you've been paying the tab throughout your whole career. Now all of a sudden it's a problem. In the last week before you retire, you could have just settled this final bill because you have the money, you know, or maybe try to talk them down a little bit more before it went public. But they said you blew them off and didn't even respond to them. And then now you're at a position where you didn't pay the tab, and then people are looking like, hey, come on. Eddie Hearn even said it. He was like, yo, it's like going to a restaurant and you want caviar and crab and you want shrimp and you want to eat good. You want the food. and you want the luxury of eating delicious foods. But when it comes time for that check, you're like, oh, hold on. You know, you ever had a situation where you ate in a group? It was like a group of 10 or a large group, 10 or more people. And then at the end of the thing, people don't want to pay for the full meal. I literally, to me, that is like one of the most ghetto things that people can do. Like, we would hit the club in San Francisco and we would stop in like Oakland or Emeryville or Richmond and go eat. And it'd be a group of 10 plus people. And your bill is like 12, and then they gave you $8. You're short. You're short $4. So if enough people in a large group short the group, whoever's collecting the money, $4, $5, don't pay at all or whatever, by the end of it, you got this group bill, and now somebody else got to wash dishes, or they got to most likely come up with the money to compensate for that cheap muff that ate, had no problem eating, but then they didn't want to pay the tab, or they trying to be, see, I don't like money hungry people like that, because for me, money, I don't give I'm gonna make money. This is who I am. You know what I mean? Y'all gonna cash at me, send me super chats like you've been doing. I'm gonna get paid off the video. I'm gonna do the other business endeavors that I have. The money is gonna come. I'm a natural born hustler, right? Hustler. The money will always come to those who work. I work every day. So somehow, some way, God willing, I'm gonna make money, period. So I don't look at money as like this special thing. Like, you know what I mean? I look at money as a tool. So I don't have any problem paying for convenience, paying what I owe, whatever debt to society or whatever I owe. You know what I mean? Occasionally people complain like, oh, the valet parking is really expensive, or, you know, this and that. Like when I go to Vegas, they got taxes and resort fees. But ultimately, you don't stay in the person's hotel when you know the pricing is listed. They got resort fees, they got taxes. If you want to open a bottle of water or the M&Ms in your room, it's going to cost you $15 or whatever. Don't eat the M&Ms. I don't. When I go to Vegas, when I was covering all these fights for y'all, I never ate or purchased anything in the hotel, because it is highway robbery, right? They are like high charging you. I don't even eat M&Ms, but for the example, some Reese's peanut butter cups, it'd be like $17. I can go down to the Walgreens, you know, catch an Uber and go to Walgreens, and or walk the strip to the Walgreens and go get it myself, and it'd be cheaper. And I get closer to my 10,000 daily steps. It's healthier for me because you burn some calories walking to get the snacks. You feel me? So for me, that's what I do. But you can't be like, oh, I'm parched, I'm thirsty. And then I need to drink this water. And then the water tells you how much it is, $15 or $10. And you open it and drink it. And then when you get that hotel bill and they itemize everything you owe, right? Boom. That water, that $15 water is on there. And now you're like going to the front desk. Oh man, but the water, why is it $15? Like, bro, told you how much it was. And for me, it's kind of janky for Crawford because, again, throughout your whole entire career, this was never a problem. It was never a problem for you to pay your sanctioning fees. You understood it. You knew that they used the money for whatever, nonprofit or going to dinner or flying around. And then now all of a sudden it just bothered you that bad a week before, and you're about to retire. You could have just paid this last fee and none of this goes public. Then you beat Canelo. You were undisputed. You did your thing and you have a clean bill of health. Now you stiff one of the sanctioned bodies out of 4 on the belt. And then now you're slowly like they're relinquishing all the belts or whatever. And then the WBC actually stripped you. The relinquish makes sense. You're not an active fighter. the game goes on. You know, one monkey don't stop no show, as they say. So at the end of the day, if he's not going to be an active fighter, you don't hold up the whole division. I get it. But to allow it to play out like this after you served your whole career, you know, my dad was in the military. So as a military brat or coming from a military family, it teaches you different things like discipline, diversity, getting along with different people. I had a job early. I was like 13, 14 when I got my first job. And I've been working ever since, bro. I'm really him. But anyway, I tell you guys this in the military. Imagine you serve, let's say you have 8 years in or whatever, and you get to the 6 months, you'll be out and you don't have to re-enlist, and you have you have to just do what you have to do for the last 6 months. That's like going AWOL. Why would you go AWOL? You already served like 95% of your time, 98% of your time. Why would you go AWOL in that last little stretch? That, to me, that's kind of what Crawford did. Like, if he was a soldier, he had a long career, a decorated career, and then you're about to get out the game Carlito's way. Huh? Okay. I'm reloaded. Here come the pain. You think you big time? Here come the pain, right? You Carlito's way, Carlito Brigante, Ego Brigante. You trying to get out the game, and then you go AWOL or do something where you get a dishonorable discharge or something that late in the game. For me, that's weird. Me personally. Crawford, he's his own individual. He did it his way. Enjoy. But now he only got one belt left. As of this video, his legacy, you know, Errol after the car crash, older Canelo, it is what it is. You spent all that time with Top Rank, you fought who you fought, 3-time undisputed, you retired, so I'm assuming you're happy with how it all played out. You know what I mean? This is where, you know, this is where it stops or whatever. So it is what it is. Like I said, I just wanted to brush up on it. It just, if it's not political, Crawford's whole standpoint made no sense in terms of going at the WBC. And I feel like with how everything's played out, I feel that even more.
You can take the fucking belt. It's a trophy anyway. The fuck am I paying you every time I step foot in the fucking ring? I'm the motherfucker that's putting my life on the line, not you.
That, I mean, that's true. You are the one putting your life on the line, but the other 2 times you were undisputed, the same rules applied, and you never said nothing publicly. I don't get it. But then towards the end of this, you're talking about, oh, the ring's the belt. That matters. Nobody cares about your belt. The green belt don't mean Turkey's belt. And the ring belt, that's the only belt that matters, and it's free. So to me, this sounded like a paid ad. This didn't sound like a man standing for his like standing on his square, and he was, you know, optimized to help these fighters. See, to me, it just feels selfish. That's point blank period. Because you're not optimized to help other fighters coming after you and like show them the way and teach them this like dirty underworld of boxing. You're not doing that. You did this as a plug before you got out the game, or allegedly got out the game, to announce your retirement, to diss the WBC, and I guess weaken the infrastructure that's always been here, that you yourself were a party to and had no problem being that. Like, you had no problem being the pawn. If you're like, oh man, the WBC, they eating shrimp dinners courtesy of us fighters, we're the one risking our life, then why didn't you say, like Tank, who told you from the jump, I don't give about no belts, pay me. Like, so for real, Gervonta Davis is the realest in the game right now, because he wasn't even playing that belt game. He was like, bro, legacy this it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't care about y'all belts. I don't care what y'all talking about. I could have been a statistic. I really shouldn't even be here. I could have been in prison. I could have been up out of here. I could have been, you know, and had a different fate. I don't care about your belt. You know what I mean? So Tank been on that. So I got to give him credit because Gervonta Davis is telling you and been telling you that he not pressed about it. Crawford played the game, and I'm sure he went to the WBC convention. He was just at the IBO or whatever, that IBA or whatever convention. So he been to these conventions. He been politicking. He been taking pictures and trophy cases and lining up his belt. Now all of a sudden, a week before he retire, he don't care. And again, for me, my personality, if you play the game this long, unless something dramatic changed, like the WBC said, you know, we're not ranking black people, or, you know what I mean, some real like oppressive reason to like, hey, I can't F with that because you just did something that's an abomination, then I would understand it. But WBC been moving how they've been moving, and you played the game up until, for whatever reason, the fourth quarter past the 2-minute warning. And now you're trying to switch up the strategy and game plan, not buying it, happy, and you wish you a happy retirement or whatever, but, you know, pay your bill. It is what it is, because had you told the WBC how you felt, you would have never been 3X undisputed, apparently, because you didn't want to pay the bill and you didn't want to pay how much they charge you. And then for whatever reason, in your world, in your mind, you believe that the WBC's price point is somehow has to be in relation or indicative of the next sanctioning body's price point. That it never made sense. That don't make sense. That's like going to Wendy's and be like, oh, but Burger King got the fries for 99 cents. Take the Burger King then. What are we talking about? Have it your way. What you talking about? Have it your way. Why would you go to Wendy's talking about like Five Guys is expensive? I just had Five Guys the other day. Pause. That's a big pause. I had Five Guys burgers the other day, right? They're expensive. They give you free peanuts and extra fries to, I guess, compensate because they're expensive. If you want that experience, you want that meal from them, then it is their price or their price. You don't have to go. You could go get you a Happy Meal, a McRib or whatever's cheaper. So that's just commerce. We live in a capitalist society where people, they can charge, like, for example, if somebody has a mastermind course and they're like, man, it's $10,000, that's their price point. They feel like they got $10,000 worth of knowledge to impart. You can't really get mad at the person for having a mastermind that you can't afford or that you don't choose to afford. You know, and I'm not saying that Crawford, obviously he can afford $300K. But what I'm saying is, if you had so many problems with this, you could have let it be known. Anyway, Crawford, he ain't got no belts. It is what it is. He's retired. We unpacked. Live streaming can be tough, which is why I use Streamyard. Click the link in the description for Streamyard, which is an awesome tool that enables you to set up your stream with ease of use. Get great results with live streaming. It's what I use. Stream to social media with ease with StreamYard. Live streaming is here to stay. Engage with your audience using StreamYard. Great way to reach out to your audience and connect. So you need a tool that can do that. If you're new to YouTube and you're struggling to get views, one tool I can provide to you is TubeBuddy. I've been on YouTube over 10 years. I use TubeBuddy daily to crank out videos just like this one that you're watching. Learn how the pros do it with TubeBuddy. YouTube receives a lot of traffic, which also means a lot of creators, a lot of people putting out content. So you need to learn the ropes so you know how to separate yourself, especially if you're new. But even if you're a pro, use TubeBuddy. The link is in the description. Get more views, more subscribers, and a higher click-through rate. So ultimately,